Um, I call this whole thing entangled. I believe I call it entangled portal mathematics and the spectrum of portal technologies because, well, as it states here, there's similarities that I see between magic ghost number cubes in this instance, but it can be any polyhedra, and the three qualities of a portal: outer cloak shell, inner holodeck shell, and the interior virtual object hologram. And if you look at this, you'll see that these two multiplication, addition, and multiplication cube forms of the magic ghost number cube. For this example, it has an outer cloak shell as basalt polyhedra would. It has an inner holodeck shell. It has an outer cloak shell, an inner holodeck shell, and a central virtual hologram. What I mean by that is that the outside shell is the outside cube. The inside shell is the inner cube. And the central hologram is the central ghost number. The central ghost number. And the inner cube is the inner holodeck shell. And the outer cube is the outer holodeck shell. The outer cloak shell of both of these. This could represent this televisual portal, and this could represent this far off distant televisual portal. And it has its own outer cloak shell, its own inner holodeck shell, the holodeck interface chamber, and the central virtual hologram of each person inside the holodeck. And this is a recursive chain of mirror worlds between the real and the virtual and televisual portals, dual televisual portal correspondence. And there's a chain that's created between the virtual, the cloaking interface, the real, the holodeck, the virtual, where it flips the image, transmit it back, the virtual image, to the real one. If the other person takes her image, transmits it back to his, takes both their images, which is not shown here, and takes it back to theirs, which covers her image, and takes third image over here and back over to his, which his virtual form would cover his image, his real body. And that's a dual televisual correspondence. These are the cloaking interface, the holodeck interface, the secondary holodeck interface. These are the transmitters. These are the receivers. They both exist in a non-local real world. They're distant from each other. That's what I take non-local to mean. I think it means something else. Well, it's closely related, I believe, to entangled portal mathematics. And as you can see, it's not just the outer ghost numbers that are sent through the inner ghost numbers when they're added together. The edge numbers, 14 is 7 and 7 going right here, and 4 and 10 going right here. 16 is 5 and 11 going right here on both sides. 16 is 20. 16 is 7. No, 16 is something right here. 12. 8 and 8 on both sides. And same thing with the multiplication. And this, I think of this as a holodeck, the inner cube, and the outer cube as a cloaking, and the central cube as a holographic person or object. And this, it shows up too in the photographic portal model. You have the outer cloak shell, which would be this is an old picture, these old grids, foam grids, and now have metal grids. And they would have X units inside of them for the corner angle views, made out of posters themselves. But this is the outer cloak shell, this is the inner holodeck shell, and this is a central virtual hologram, what I would use in my photo cube, my color-coded photo cube. It would, when the images are pasted on, it would appear to float inside. This dog toy, geometric dog toy, being the sample I'm going to use to make the first photographic hologram. But this is the spectrum, the photographic portal model that I've yet to complete. And what I see in the future is televisual portals. You have the outer cloak again, the inner holodeck, and the central virtual hologram. The person being equivalent to the dog toy in the photographic portal model. And they show the recursive chain of mirror worlds between the real world out here, the virtual, the real, the virtual, the real, the virtual, the real, the virtual, the real, the virtual. And whichever environment selected, it'll also have a connection to its outside world through the cloaking, because that splices in to give them their environment. But it doesn't go back the other way, or else you appear on the outside of the orb. But it imparts the outside environment of whichever environment selected to fill the holographic background, the holodeck background. And so one is hooked up and it's given the real world to these dual televisual correspondences. It's feeding the real world in there, or this could be feeding the real world in there. It depends on which holodeck scenery, this scenery they choose. And I believe that, well, I want to make this portal mathematics to apply to all different ranges of portals. And as you can see, I don't have a cosmic portal on here because that's yet to be seen. But my biggest hope now is that I can tie all these in together and eventually maybe come across the cosmic portal. So, thanks a lot.